Alrighty, Grumpy Grandpa here. That's me. Want to talk about yesterday and the inauguration. And me and Deb, we wanted to see how it was going to play out and how the state-ran media was going to cover this and see what their angle is going to be for the next 4 years. So we were watching the mainstream media. We took one for you. It was horrible. But every 2 seconds, they brought up, that terrible, Capitol siege. How terrible it was. We almost lost our democracy that day, and they pushed it. Oh, we all know that it was a good patriotic gathering. Some Antifa people were involved that helped try to break in and start things and get the patriots to do something nefarious so that they would look bad. But for the most part, most of the patriots were like, hey, man, don't bust that up. We're here to speak our mind. They walked in. A lot of them were let in. The police were opening up. It's almost like they wanted them in there. It's strange. It's DC. It's our capital. It should be very secure. It shouldn't be that easy to get into a building like that. But I digress. So that happened in last an hour or so. A couple bad things happened in there, but not, it didn't burn down. And for the most part, everybody remained peaceful and didn't bust up the place. And they got them out. We won't even talk about the last year of riots and overtakes of actual buildings for weeks that autonomous zone breaking away from America. They don't see that as being a threat on their democracy. Just that one day for a couple hours, that was a threat on their democracy. But see, Grumpy I do research on this stuff. And unlike school nowadays, they don't teach American history and they don't teach about World War II. They don't teach history at all. They want to forget about it. Let me bring this up because that day, the mainstream media, all they did was bring that up every time. If you were playing a drinking game like Deb says, you would be drunk in 15 minutes. The amount of times they bring up that, how terrible the Patriots were for, that hour or two. So that's all they bring up. But let me bring up some history for you knuckleheads that don't look into history. See, Hitler, he was trying, to get his movement going and everything. So what happened was the Reichstag fire. And this was an attack on the Reichstag building, home of the German parliament in Berlin. Pretty important building. Sound familiar, huh? On Monday, 27th, February 1933. Precisely 4 weeks after Adolf Hitler was sworn in as Chancellor of Germany. Hitler's government stated that Marinus van der Lubbe, a Dutch council communist, was the culprit, and it attributed the fire to the communist agitators. A German court decided later that year that van der Lubbe had acted alone, as he had claimed. The day after the fire, the Reichstag fire decree was passed. The Nazi Party used the fire as a pretext to claim that communists were plotting against the German government, which made the fire pivotal. All right. So Hitler, he just ran with that, man. He pushed that. Them communists are bad, because at the time, believe it or not, Hitler was bringing up the new Socialist Party, but the Communist Party was gaining traction there too after World War I, and let me just put it this way. Hitler had to do a lot of nefarious stuff to get to where he did and get the country all in, buying into what he was doing was right and everything. So just be careful out there, man. You have to do your own research. Got to do your own research. The media pushing it like they do, it just tells me they have one side. They're not one of them said, well, the Patriots are upset because, there was evidence of voter fraud and everything. It just seemed like the judges weren't doing anything. That's because the deep state is deep, people. I'm telling you. They had the judges scared to do anything. And I really honestly think Trump tried to do some stuff legally, and he just had no help. The Republicans bailed on him because they're deep state. Everybody's deep state. And he thought maybe somebody would step up, do what's right, look into all this stuff before we just objectively said, nope, nothing here. It's all, nobody showed up at Biden rallies. There's only 6 people there. So it's all good. So, yeah, Trump was got more votes than any other sitting president, more votes than any other than Biden. And Biden got more than Obama. It all adds up to be stinks. It just stinks. So, where am I going with this? So we know Biden has no jazz. So in order to, he knows, Trump had all those people on Inauguration Day. And the mainstream media argued that he said it was 1 million or something. And they said, no, it couldn't have been. They started beating up on Trump. There wasn't that many people there. Well, there wouldn't have been nobody there at the Biden inauguration. So I thought the military was there, maybe because they had information from all their sources that the election was rigged and they were going to do something maybe that day and expose a lot of people. Didn't happen. I was wrong. But I did say that the military was there. There was too many military there for just no reason at all. Well, they were there, I guess, to protect Biden. And to say, oh, we need the protection. That's why we only had 10 people out there at the inauguration. And oh, by the way, Lady Gaga was there because nothing says, God bless America and we ain't deep state and we ain't evil like Lady Gaga. I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. But I could ramble on all day long. I could go deep into this. That would be boring. You guys are already probably bailed. You only watched 2 minutes of me going off here anyways. All I'm asking people is do your own research. Turn off that TV. That is garbage TV ran by the deep state. You're never going to get what's going on. You youngins got to start doing some research, doing some thinking on your own. He's already given all our money away. He's already given it back to the WHO. He's already given it to the climate. Look out your window, people. The climate ain't changing. My goodness. Don't even get me started on climate. I'll go off for another 10 years on that too. Oh, man. You youngins are being brainwashed. Thank you, Trump, for your 4 years of dedication and giving up your cush life to try to show the people and get rid of the deep state. Deep state strong. I don't know what Trump's next move is. The only mistake he did there was shutting down America. Back whenever the CV came along, he should have said, no, we don't do that. He was trying to pander because he knew if one person died of the CV, they were going to yell at him and it would make it hard for him to get reelected. And they would say, oh, he doesn't care. He's just killing people. Well, listen, 15 days have gone by. We're on a year now, and this thing is still here. You can't shut down America for a year. That was one thing Trump did. I think he was just trying to play the game so that, nobody could come back on him and say he was killing Americans and everything. I get it. You did your best. That was a mistake, though. I think if he had it over again, I think if I sat here and talked to Trump and said, hey, what was your one biggest mistake? He would have said, yeah, I should have argued I should have not let them shut down America. Even the governors, I shouldn't have let them do it. I should have just kept America. It was a national crisis, and you're gonna ruin America if you shut it down. I should have just forced it to stay open. But oh well, he was a good guy. I still think Trump was awesome. He did bring to a light to a lot of people how corrupt our government is, and how corrupt and one-sided and biased the news is. So he did wake up. I already knew all that. He woke up a lot of other people to it, and I want to thank him for that. Alrighty, knuckleheads. I don't want this to ramble on forever. Obama is our president. Let's see what he has to do. Maybe God put him in there so we can just see how screwed up and evil and corrupt our government is. And that way, in 4 years from now, whenever they try to steal another one, we don't let them steal it. We stand up and we do the right thing next time. All right. Talk to you later. Oh, like I say on every ending of the show, God bless America.